welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the Tenacious Turtle Tussle, number 27. I'm of course your VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chat, by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all to your bi-weekly dose of Tenacious Turtle Tussle action. Here we go. For those that are curious, this is an open tournament. Every 2 weeks we host a Turtle Tussle. It's open to all players, all regions, all shapes, all sizes, and we are here jumping into our first series of the night. If you're in the chat, !B as the bracket is live, and predictions will soon be open because we're jumping into our series. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the red Terran player from the land of the Americas, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Vindicta. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player from land of Peru, the Peruvian Protoss, representing Bing Bong Exports. It is Mute. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat as we do get our Gamba going. Best of luck, Patty. Best of luck. Here we go. We are settling into our series. Again, we'll be going over the entirety of the brackets once we have wrapped up. Once we are done, we'll get there. Don't you worry. We'll get there at some point. For now, though, we're focusing on our TvP. Here we go. Also, if you want to help support the tournament, !Matcherino. There's a Matcherino page for the event. Unfortunately, we have no codes for the event, but if you want to help contribute, you can do so if you wish. Again, 100% of the money on Matcherino goes towards the players. Likewise, because of the boosted prize pool for the Turtle Tussle, this is top 4. Top 4 players do get paid out. You have to make it to the semifinals to make this worth your while. So again, big shout out to our sponsors or contributors to the Turtle Tussle. Shout out to Protostegosaurus for once again donating 75 USD to the prize pool, and of course to Mark BT for putting forth the bulk of the prize money as well. So big shout out to two very passionate fans of StarCraft. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to our two big contributors. As for now, we're settling in stand opener, just going for a Gate Cyber expand. Standard opener out of Mute. Likewise, Vindicta going for a Rax expand as well. Economic start from our Terran. Standard opener from our Protoss player. Here we go. I see Mark BT. Speaking of Mark BT in the chat, let's go. Thank you so much for, of course, supporting, for allowing for this event to be possible as well. Thank you always. As for now, we are going to be jumping into our series. Again, when it comes to our two players here, Mute has been slowly progressing when it comes to his skill over time. Throughout the course of 2024, has been improving steadily. So Mute is a returning player. Used to go by a different ID many years ago, and did retire for a time, and recently came back. I say recently, again, came back like a year ago at this point. And has been improving, has been looking good, has been looking comparable to a lot of the other Protoss or a lot of the other players in the NA region. But coming into this, Vindicta is going to be the favorite player here. I say that. Likewise, has also recently been spending a lot of time focusing on other IRL commitments, more so than playing, but he's still a very active streamer. He's still very much so active, still competing very often whenever he can, of course. No longer his primary focus, but is still a very active player. And I'm excited to see how they compare to each other, as so far we have a second Rax before Starport. Aggressive build here by Vindicta, delaying the Starport, which means we could see a third Rax as well to go for a 3 Rax push, potentially even a 2-base all-in. Before that happens, though, here we go. We do rock up across the map. Remember, there is no stim, but there is a force field. Oh, Sentry falls back. Alas, Sentry goes down. Nice target fire. No shield battery here in the natural base. The Sentry does go down. Heli's wreaking havoc here in the middle line. Probe's going to be falling. So far, good damage here by Vindicta, chasing down that Stalker. Stalker takes a lot of hits, and he's going for the Stalker. He will get it. The start stepping is too good. Stalker goes down. Hellion does fall, but that's still 4 probes going down, and Vindicta still just rallying across the map. And what is he here for? He's here for probe damage. Oh, does focus on the workers. Up to 7 probes going down. Very nice damage here by Vindicta. Again, this should not have happened. It did catch Mute off guard. He was not ready here with the force fields, with the second sentry, with the shield battery. Was caught unawares and off guard. With that was 7 probes going down, 1 for each Marine. The Hellion fell for the Sentry and a Stalker, so a better trade for Vindicta. Mute is going to be expanding behind this. What does this tell us? This tells us that we are not going for any kind of big gateway explosion. We do have 3 gates, so 3-gate blink here for Mute. He can counterattack, but for now he's focusing on expanding, focusing on recovering. So Mute taking a more defensive stance. Meanwhile, Vindicta back at home getting ready for the counterattack. We can see here, tank is in position, a turret as well, just in case there was a DT follow-up. So Vindicta playing very safe here. Dark Templar would not be an issue, would not be a problem. 2 tanks here on the low ground as well. The main base is exposed. True, the main base is more vulnerable, but as we can see, Mute is not moving out. He's not pushing, he's chilling back at home. We have Stalkers in the main, we have Stalkers at the natural. Likewise, Pylon spotting here at the third as well. Mute is just taking a more defensive stance. Taking a more defensive stance here. As our players are building up. Players are building up. Tanks could be amassing. And here comes that pushing, and we spoke about it. Remember, the starport was heavily delayed. Stim is done in a couple of seconds, and Vindicta once again just being hyper-aggressive. He's pushing. Again, needs 10 more seconds for Stim. He's got 3 tanks. Ideally, we do see that Mute, he has to slow this down. He has to force the siege, pick off a tank if at all possible, catch reinforcements. And Mute at least does spot this. Oh, going for the tank. Yeah, 1 more volley, brings down. Oh, no, not really. Barely, barely the first tank does fall. Very nice pickoff. Gets 1 tank down to 2. At least Stim is done. Vindicta holding onto it. Once again, the second tank barely survives. Calls down the mule. Here to repair. Stalker's taking a lot of hits with massive blink there out of Mute. Very nicely done. Takes down the second tank. Now there's 1 tank left. Vindicta, he's running out of steam. He's running out of army. Still rallying. Ooh, does catch the Observer. Observer gets caught behind this. Third CC's halfway done. Vindicta, he is not all in. He's not fully committed. As some more axes are being thrown down. Vindicta pulling away. And he won't quite risk it. I mean, he did trade relatively well here, catching out 6 Stalkers. But did lose 2 tanks, so with that, the backbone of the army has definitely been whittled away at. Vindicta, he backs off, he retreats. Consolidating his army. Pulling away and expanding. Oh! Barely not catching the Stalker. But does back off. Third base now on the way. And across the map, as Migs has been building up and getting to his third, we have Immortal production for Mute. Immortal soon to be splash damage. The bay is done. Colossus is going to be on the horizon. No Colossus yet. Still no splash damage. Migs is moving out. Wouldn't mind dropping to the left hand side. Oh! Ooh. Takes down 2 probes. And really, this was mainly a distraction. Does distract, comes in, depowers 4 of these gateways. Artosis Violent goes down, and can he get the Cyber Core? Tank is sieged, dropping into the main. Mute's coming in from behind, trying to collapse on this army. There are plenty of Marauders, taking down 2 of those gateways. And so far, will try to make a stand. Zealots are being cleaned up with the tank, it's going to go down. At the same time, Migs, he lifts, just lifts into the main. There's a recall, Mute trying to keep up. And can he snipe that +1? He can. Ooh, barely does deny. Nice +1. Boost the hell out of there. Oh my god. Barely escapes. Whew. And keeps dropping. Just keeps dropping in. Rallying Marines in, getting 12 probes in total. Very nice damage. Remember, recall's on cooldown. And Vindicta just pulling Mute apart. Hyper aggression. Finally, the game settled down. Mute, he cleans up the army, but Vindicta, he's not done. He's just rallying into the center, getting his star base fully operational, and now he has ghosts. Ghosts have arrived. He's got 2, soon to be 5 ghosts here for Vindicta. Rallying out. He's going to be pushing. Mute, the first Colossus has arrived. And is that going to be enough? There's not much support for it, though. Migs coming in with the EMP. Takes down those Immortals. Yeah, the EMP is brutal. Colossus gets caught as well. She about to be out of energy. He gets 2 Immortals already. 2 Immortals, they instantly go down. Very nice pickoffs. Collapsing the army again. There's barely any Zealots. Another EMP. And Mute, he barely pulls away in time. Saves the Colossus. And with this Warp and the Zealots, Mute, he is going to be able to hold on. Or is he? Oh, Zelts go down. GG gets called. He is broken. And Vindicta will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Again, a very intense, very aggressive game there by Vindicta. Was able to barely break through, barely snowball out of control. There were some good moments from Mute. Don't get me wrong, there were some really nice moments, specifically when he was slowing down the push when he sniped both tanks. If you recall, with that first 3-tank push, 2 of those tanks went down ahead of time, and with that, it forced Vindicta to back off. That was a strong moment for Mute. He was able to get his third base up and running, but the multiple aggression did prove a little bit too much there. Unfortunately, Mute, he was not quite ready at his third base, wasn't ready in the main base either. He was being torn apart, and that is where Vindicta did thrive. That's where he did pop off. GG. GG, well played. Vindicta, he does take a lead in the series, but it is a best of 3. Best of 3, plenty more games ahead of us, plenty more games to come, and we are here to follow Vindicta into game number 2. Personally, I'm hoping for an ace match. I'm hoping for a back and forth and for a longer series between these two players, but pressure is on. The pressure is on Mute. We'll see if he can bring it back. As we're loading into another smaller map in the map pool, we're going to be loading into Ley Lines. Let's go. Loading into Ley Lines here. And we'll see if we can get that ace match. Likewise, the entirety of the first round is underway, and again, we'll get there. We'll get there to that first round. Don't you worry. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ley Lines, we have the red Terran player. The red Terran representing the Platinum Heroes, leading the series 1-0. It is Vindicta. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Peruvian Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Bing Bong Exports. It is Mute. Here we go. Again, we are going to be settling in. As a reminder, last game, Vindicta, he was hyper-aggressive, as we were pointing out. He did delay his third CC in favor of extra Raxes, which led into the first tank push, which wasn't too successful. It was the follow-up, which really did pop off. And I was surprised to see that work. Again, Vindicta, he only had the 1 tank, but he had a massive amount of bio. And again, just really good movement overall to get into the main base, to pull Mute apart. But I'm ready for the comeback. Now, also as a reminder, last game Mute did open up 3-gate Blink. It was 3-gate Blink Stalker, and because of the early game aggression and the early game damage that Vindicta did achieve, it did mean that Mute wasn't really able to achieve too much with that build. It's supposed to keep you safe, but at the same time, Mute, he was unaware as to what Vindicta was up to. He did miss the first push. So hopefully he's a little bit more attentive when it comes to scouting. Meanwhile, Mute's cutting corners, going for a gate expand before Cybercore. So a slightly more greedy opener here out of Mute. Going for a more delayed Cybercore, which means delayed Adept, delayed Sentry, delayed Scout. And Makes will soon confirm. Yo, shout out to the shout to the turtle. Aha. It's tussling, Papi. It's tussling. Let's go. As Makes is moving in. Going for the Scout. And we'll confirm the timing of the Nexus.
The Grim Reaper has arrived.
And from there, backs off. Behind this is going to be a Sentry opener out of Mute. So once again, just being very greedy, very defensive here. The Sentry, of course, allows the Protoss player to hallucinate the Scout to confirm what's going on. As we can see, it is going to be the Rax expand into a delayed factory Economic opener out of Vindicta, which is the same opener he went for last game. Reaper moves out. Reaper does move out. Stalker on the way behind this. Here comes that hallucination. And Migs should soon be dipping in, just to get eyes on the tech. As we can see here, Twilight Council has been thrown down. It's going to be once again Blink out of Mute. I mean, I'm assuming Blink technically could be DTs. If you recall, Vindicta also was ready for the Dark Templar, just in case. That is going to be an option here to Mute. It's going to be an option. That hallucination confirms the production, confirms the this time 1-1-1. So Vindicta, he is mixing up his build. And the Reaper does confirm the Twilight Council. Gets knocked out of the main. We'll pull out. But again, as a reminder, last game, Vindicta, he went for a second and third racks before Starport, so much more aggressive. This time, just going for an early Wood Mine drop. So early Mine drop. He's not rushing into tanks as quickly or Marines as quickly. Or Stim as fast. Once again, Meg's looking for a way in. Testing the strength of the wall. He also confirms that there's research here on the Twilight Council. The likelihood of this being DTs is far lower. This hallucination does dive into the main. Oh. Gets dealt with. It's going to be dealt with. Mind drop moves out. And behind this, we do have the Robo follow-up here for Mute. Just going 3-gate blink into Robo into a third base. So once again, like a quote-unquote safe start here out of Mute. And he's not really being too active with his Stalkers, taking a more defensive stance. He's ready here at the natural, and the mind drop is on the way. Migs, he does confirm the third. Gets eyes on it. Drop is boosting in. We have one Widowmine waddling into the natural. He's waiting for the boost. Likewise, distracting with the Reaper. Reaper pulls away. Drop moves in. Mute, he's in position. He's ready for this. Does focus down the medevac. Widowmine does bar. Up! Up! Oh my god. The shot! Up! Oh, does connect. 3 probes go down. Not bad. Whew. That could have been so much worse. I love the setup there by Migs with the 2 Widowmines. Alas, Mute does minimize losses. And from here we settle in. Another Hallucination Scout confirms the setup. 3-1-1. Going for a later third base, and Mute can now counterattack. He's defended against the initial drop. He can move out. And we'll see what he can achieve. So far we have a bunker, we have a tank. We're pretty well set up here at the natural. Migs in the main base has a tank in SimCity. So far looking solid. Is looking solid. Stalker's a threat and a dive. Last Migs, he is secure. For the time being, at least. Likewise, Bay is on the way. Mute, he's just taking up. Saturating his third base, working towards Colossus once again. Getting to charge. No storm. Does poke up the ramp. Tank is repositioning. Stim is about to finish. And Mute does pull away. So power blowing back. Third CC is in production again. No 2-base all in. Vindicta is expanding. And as the Stalkers were distracted, Vindicta, he does slip out with the drop. Going for another mine drop. Now back at him to third base, there's some units in position, but nothing really to hunt down the medevac itself. Probe is throwing down the spotted pylon, but I believe Mute will miss this. Yeah, the pylon just began, does not have the vision. Barely did glimpse it for a second. Widowmine waddling in, main base is exposed, making his way into the mineral line. And Mute, he does react in time. Takes down the first Widowmine. Back into the main. Mute up, no reaction. Oh no, up. Late reaction, 2 probes go down. That could have been so much worse. Does pull away in time. Whew. And Mute defends. Mute defends at the same time. Vindicta, he did break out. Stalkers did race back home. There was a bit of a skirmish here, but in the end, Mute did pull back. Didn't lose any Stalkers. Vindicta going for another drop. Bearing in mind that one of the Widowmines was saved, and Vindicta, he can always dive back in. So has that drop available. And we'll see if he can create an opening. Likewise, he's not pushing through the center. He's just taking a more defensive stance. Ghost production has begun. Viking production as well. He did a scout at the bay. So Migs, he knows. Is aware. Scouts the fourth. Yo. No. Mindshot gets baited out. It's baited by the hallucination. Nice moves out of Mute. And Mute, he's for the most part being more defensive. He's just turtling up. Get the Colossus, massing up Zealots. Migs will drop into the mineral line. Getting a couple of probes. But the man is the main. Ooh, is going to be focused down in time. And here comes the main army. So far, Mute is in position. He's ready for this. He's got his mass charge lots. And that's a lot of Zealots as well. 33. It's mainly a Zealot army. And more Zealots are warping in. And Mute, he wants to fight out in the open like this. Got a lot of Widow Mines. Mine just going off, taking down two of those Zealots, but there's still a sea of Zealots left over. And we need these Widow Mines to connect. We get some okay connections, but the mines are all reset. They're all on cooldown, I should say. As I'll say, catch reinforcements. Collapsing on top of the tanks as well. Does get one Colossus. One Colossus goes down for two tanks. Still a better trade for Mute. As he does preserve his army. And again, the problem here with what Mute's working with is just, it's a very cheap army here. It doesn't take much at all here to reinforce with more Zealots. And Vindicta, he backs off. Vindicta, he does back off, does retreat, gets the hell out of there. Now, the strength of this mass Zealot army is fighting out in the open. Like out here, as we mentioned. Like it can struggle when it comes to pushing into defensive positions. I'm referring to SimCity. Like walls of depots and bunkers and CCs and planetaries. Like trying to break a defensive Terran player can be very difficult for this army. But out in the open with potential surrounds, that's what Mute wants. And Mixie confirms. He scans, he confirms the army. He knows that he should not be pushing into Mute. That's what Mute wants. And it doesn't feel good as a Terran player, but you do have to just turtle. Essentially, you have to just turtle up, chill back at home, ideally throw down some depots and bunkers. Being active is really risky, but Migs, he's doing it. Have a double drop on the right. Meanwhile, pushing through the center, he's spotted by the Observer. Mute, he does spot this. And again, this army here from Migs, it's very vulnerable. He cannot engage head-on. This drop is going to be distracting Mute, and Mute, he's maxed out. He's maxed out 200 supply with 33 Zealots. And I am concerned that the defensive position here is not good enough. Oh! Nice mine connection. Takes down 4 probes. Again, Mute's being distracted. The drop play continues. But at a certain point, Mute is going to push. Migs likewise maxing out as well. A lot of supply though. Drop play. Whether it's this double drop on the right or the triple drop on the left. That is most of his army. Oh no! And he's going to get caught out. Full Metamech goes down. He gets one, he gets two. Ay, ay, ay. 2 Metamechs fall. And Mute, he's tempted, I'm sure. Very tempted to push. Gets eyes on the CC. He does spot the 4th base. And he's moving in. And again, I don't think Migs is well set up here, or set up well enough. Mute pushing forward. Again, he's got a terrifying army. Oh! Zones away the Vikings, takes down 2 of them. Triple drop does hit the 4th. And here comes Mute, he commits. Couple of mine shots going up. Does charge in. Colossus should be going down to the Vikings. But what about the Bio? What about the Bio army here? It's going to crumble. Zelsay break through. Planetary goes down. Liberators as well. And Mute, he does it. He breaks the main army. He can just keep on pushing across the map. Vindicta, he did take down the base, but it may not matter. As Mute, he's coming in for the kill. Pushing into the natural. Diving into the mineral lines. SCVs are falling. And he's just committing to the base raid. Just has to commit. Going for some of the production. 3rd base goes down. 52 SCVs. GG gets called. And Mute will tie up the series. And we're going to the ace match. GG. Whew. Oh my god. GG, well played again, Mute. This is his go-to style. It's like quote-unquote swarm toss, if you will. The idea being, of course, being very gateway heavy with a lot of zealots with minimal supportive units. I'm referring to, I mean, again, there were only 2 Colossus. Only 2 Colossus. There was like 1 or 2 Immortals, no Archons, no Storm, nothing else behind it. There were a couple of Stalkers as well to help deal with those Liberators, but mainly Zealot there, and it can be very difficult to deal with. Very difficult with that. GG, well played. We're going all the way to the ace match. And we'll see how this story ends. We shall see. Oh, as it looks like the ace match is going to be on El Dorado. Just catching him with chat. Yo, I see Jumi in the chat. I see Hatsu. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Shout out to Sirius Blackbeard being the first quacker. Aranix. Oh, Shema, of course. Shema. So, a lot of Polish viewers in the chat as well. Dzień dobry. Zealots. Oh. Again, it can be just a really difficult style to deal with. As we mentioned, like, typically, not always, but typically, like, it does force a Terran player to turtle up and be more defensive. Of course, you can take the MiGs approach, like in the previous game, to try to pull apart your opponents and go for all these drop plays and counterattacks. Very difficult to pull off, but here we go. We're getting to the ace match, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of El Dorado, we have the American Terran player, the Red Terran, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Vindicta. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing Bing Bong Exports, the Peruvian Protoss. It is Mute. Here we go. As we load into one of the smaller maps in the map pool, smaller map, as results can be much more aggressive. Now, what I will say about El Dorado is that it is less open. What I mean by that is that the attack paths are a lot more straightforward. There's a lot of points of elevation here as well, so you can take a greater defensive stance. If you do see Mutes going for that kind of more gateway-heavy composition and take a greater engage here if you're being more defensive, true. Likewise, the rush distance by ground can be reduced if you do expand towards your opponent, whether you take the third base or even take the forward gold base as well. You can be more aggressive. And we did see Vindicta be quite successful in Game 1 with a more aggressive style. So we'll see how MiGs will adjust. So far, double gas. For the first time this series, double gas opener out of Vindicta. What does this mean? This means faster factory. This means a more committed early game here. He can go into Reactor Reaper Hellion. He can go into a Hellion drop. Can go into a tank drop, early Cyclone production. He can go for early Banshee play as well. We'll see where MiGs takes us. The probe is going to be chased down. Probe does confirm both gases. There's that factory on the way. Technically, this guy... Oh, he wants the SCV! Oh, no! He wants it! Oh, my God, the repairs. Does repair in time, gets a surround, kills and snipes the probe. And MiGs does hold. Does hold, doesn't lose any units. Back across the map, standard opener. And we are settling in. As MiGs does move out with the Reaper. Does move out. Trying to get some scouting information in the main base. Once again, Twilight Council opener out of Mute. It can be more difficult to scout here just because there's no direct cliff into the main. So you have to go through the natural to get into the main base. So you have to dedicate that much more here for a scout. Adept does shade past the initial Reaper though, and the CC is going to be delayed. SV forced back. SV is going to go down. MiGs building up his own Reaper Hellion. No add-ons yet. Diving in. Second Adept has arrived. Again, a big delay here. The Hellion's being targeted down as well. MiGs is in trouble here. He is hurting. And Hellion does fall. Reaper. And he will clean this up, but again, it's just a big delay here in a brutal trade for Migs. Bleeding out most of his army. The CC will continue and will eventually finish. And behind this, where exactly are we headed? Medevac is on the... Sorry, Starport is on the way. Still committed to additional Reaper Hellion. Still no earlier tech lab. And it looks like we're setting up for a mine drop follow-up. Okay. Here comes the Medevac and the Widow Mine. Meanwhile, across the map, do you have our gateway set up? Blink is on the way, and we have how many gates? 3. Oh, sorry, 2 even. We have 1 gate at the natural, we have 1 gate in the main. So far, 2 gate blink. I would imagine a 3rd is going to be on the horizon. Reapers, they bypass the main army, they head into the main, they get a full scout, they confirm blink. Makes us aware. Boys are being pulled. Ooh, does shut down one of the Reapers. 1, 2 Reapers go down. Again, better trades here from Mute. Meanwhile, that's a full wall. Jesus. I didn't even realize. A full wall up here at the natural. The Hellions, they do nothing. Now we have more gateways on the way. So it is going to be a 3-gate setup. Migs moving out with his Widow Mine drop. Committing to a Liberator behind this as well. Liberator is on the way. And ideally, you do want to have a distraction here, but because of the full wall, the Hellions are not doing too much. They're forced to blink. Yeah, Stalker's forced to respond. Drop into the main base. Stalker's out of position. Oh. How many probes can we shut down? Late reaction. Up. Oh my god, 6 probes. Not bad. Whew. Yeah, big mine drag. 6 probes going down. Widow Mines will escape. And again, I didn't think that these Hellions would cause a distraction, but Mute, he had just a big reaction there, just diving on the army. Didn't need to, but did expose himself. Widow Mines are saved. Mute pushing in. Tank is sieged. The second bunker on the way. Not done yet. Migs trying to set up. Getting ready for the counterattack. Mine drop coming back in. Liberator into the main base. Probes up. Oh no! Oh my god, massive connection. 12 probe kills. 12 probes going down. Boys are being pulled. Meanwhile, across the map, Mute dives into the main. Does dive in. Stalker's being forced back. Getting 4 SCV kills. Again, the main base of Vindicta is looking very exposed, but the second tank has arrived. Migs, he's sieging up. Getting ready. Ooh. Medevac rallies in. Liberator finally going to be dealt with. Mute splitting up his army. He's going for the mineral line. He's going for the main. There's the auto turret. Forcing him back. Still more reinforcements on the way. Going for the warp in. He's committing. I mean, again, Mute, he knows he's a little bit behind. He knows that he lost a lot of probes. And he gets 5 SCVs. And delays the production. Again, the main base here is just so big. Jesus. It's huge. There's just so much room here. Tank is exposed. Dives in. Till it picks up the tank. Very nice pickup. Getting more SCVs. And again, this location is just so abusable. Migs trying to deal with this. Moving forward. But he just can't. Yeah, this is getting out of hand. 11 SCVs. 11 SCVs going down. Getting up to 12. Trading with the Marines. Getting up to 14 SCVs. And even though Migs had a great start with those mine connections, it pales in comparison to this. I'm afraid to look. It's been... So, I mean, Jesus. 22 probes went down throughout the course of this game. That's still quite a lot. Don't get me wrong. But likewise, Vindicta, he lost 19 SCVs. 19 SCV kills. Both players taking a lot of losses here in this game. Now, because of the full wall, Mute cannot expand, but he soon will. There we go, expanding towards his opponent. Mines through the minerals. Will soon take his 3rd. Stalker aggression continues. Up. Diving into the main. Gets 1 more CV. One more SV goes down. Migs, he scans, confirms that his opponent is expanding. And where do we go from here? Does have stim. He can try to break out. We'll see if he does decide to pull the boys or a third CC. What are we going for? The problem is that he can't leave. If he does, he's just going to be abused once again. The Prism is just keeping him pinned back. He's stuck at home, Pat. Stuck at home. Likewise, throughout all this, Mute building up his third. Slowly getting it saturated. There's a salvage. Makes he wants to push. There's an observer in position. Mute will spot the move out. And as the army moves out, Mute can move in. Oh, and there's not much in the main. Oh, good. Getting a Marauder. Boys are being pulled. And we can go for the Warp In. Oh! The Warp In, it barely will not complete. And here comes the push. It's all or nothing. The boys are being pulled. We're completely all in. And what is that him to defend? Jeez, there's a Colossus. There's a sea of Zealots. Oh, no. And how do we push up this ramp? Nice missile. Dorito Cannon goes up. Tank sieging up. Knocking down that wall, but all the SCVs, they all just crumble. 23 SCV kills. Tanks, they take down the Colossus. Not bad. Colossus goes down. Robo as well. No more production. And Migs, has he done it? He's breaking through. Up. He's so close. The GG gets called. Migs, he breaks the natural. He will claim the series 2-1. And he will advance on to the next round. GG. Whew. Oh my god. GG, well played. Vindicta, he was completely all in. Pushing up that ramp was brutal. He lost all the SCVs trying to force his way through that choke point, but he did push through. More importantly, I would say the most important part, if you remember, the tanks, they focused down the Colossus. The Colossus flew too close to the sun. It did wander too close to the edge of the cliff face, and the Colossus went down in 2 volleys, and with that, no more splash damage. With that, remember, the Robo was a part of the wall. Robo also went down. 0 splash damage remaining. GG. GG, well played. Whew, oh my god. Vindicta will advance on, and Mute is going to be knocked out of the tournament. Oh my god. GG. GG, well played. Migs will take it. And now we can take a moment here to have a look at the bracket to figure out where we are and where we are headed. Let's go. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourself.